Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summer Sakay.
And I'm Kristy Jansen. And we are part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help make it one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy, back-from-vacation-worthy podcast. Today is Tuesday, the 17th of August, 2021. Hi!
Hi, Summers. How was your mini vacation?
My mini vacation was a total family vacation. We were just talking in the pre-meeting a little bit about it. We had a really, really nice time. I officially checked out. I didn't respond to, nobody emailed me because nothing was urgent, but I didn't even respond to little teeny tiny emails. I just was with my family and we had a really fun time. We also had like a really family vacation time. I have a teenager who's going to college. I have a high schooler who's starting in a new high school. And so there's a lot of pressure in our lives right now. And everybody was like just a little bit stressed because of everything that is happening this week because it's first week of school. So I would say that we had a good time and we enjoyed the adventure and took Brennan to an aquarium. But I would also say that, like, real honestly, as most families know, family vacations are not always super duper fun, right? They're good for a family, but they're not all like your solo journey adventure vacation travel that I remember from back in the day. So
well, a lot different than going on a romantic getaway with your partner, yes, or like a solo exploration trip where you get to kind of be on your own and just explore a city or something.
This was not climbing Kilimanjaro solo.
Yeah.
This was,
stressed out teenagers and a toddler and a dog. Right?
The most interesting thing about my toddler and managing her is now she has a concept of home. And this is the first time because she's like a COVID kid. We didn't travel at all when she was tinier. And now she's just getting to the point where she really recognizes like what home is. And it was so cute because she had a good time and we played in the water. But when we got home last night, as we pulled in, she said, "Brennan, come home," and like burst into tears and ran into her room and hugged all her toys and like played quietly by herself. And then we ate dinner. And then she said, "Brennan, go to bed," and like marched herself into bed. So it was really interesting, like, to see the evolution of the concept of home for a teeny tiny person. And we've talked about the evolving concept of home for all of us, right? Like, it's just different. But Kristy, I landed and you flew. Where in the world are you today?
So one of the amazing things about the way the world is now is you could be anywhere. And who knows? So I'm actually calling in from Boston. That's where I am at right now.
Yes. And you had quite a fun arrival into your apartment in Boston.
So I am out here to meet up with extended family, but I'm taking a couple days separated from them because of, COVID safe. Anyway, so I got a little Airbnb in the old north end of Boston, which is right around the corner from Paul Revere's house. But I landed last night after midnight. Or around midnight, and I got to my little house after midnight, and I was having trouble getting the key to my Airbnb. So I got to hang out on the street for about 30 minutes, along with trash, which needed to get picked up, and rats that were running around.
Little rats, like little old world Bostonian rats.
Yes, I feel like I'm in
Paul Revere's.
Yes, this apartment has been here for more than 100 years. And I feel like I'm in a little town in Italy or somewhere in Europe. It's pretty cool.
Love it. Well, I feel like, there's so much to talk about, but I will fully admit to having not listened to you and Amelia yesterday. And I was just wondering, tell me about your challenge. How did it go? What did you guys pick as a challenge for the weekend?
Well, the challenge that we picked was calling for climate. We had written about the hotline where we can call and talk to your senators and encourage them to stay strong or vote for climate action policies. And so that's what we did. And I did it. And I talked with my two senators' offices, Dianne Feinstein. I actually talked with one of her staffers. And then I left a message for Padilla. But it was good. I felt good that I did that.
That's pretty cool. Okay, maybe I'll take up that challenge and do it this week, because certainly I can pick up the phone and call for climate as well.
It sends you right into the senator's office, depending on where in the world you're sitting, where in the country you're sitting, rather. And it takes you to one, and then it takes you to the second one. So you just have to make one phone call.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it. I like it. Thank you for that. This morning, I had terrible internet issues at our house. We, of course, came home and all of our routers, for whatever reason, aren't working. And so I feel like we're running behind on everything. But I did get a chance to peek at the headlines before we got together. And there's a lot. It was sort of hard to pick today, wasn't it?
Yeah. A lot of good, meaty subjects.
I will start, I think.
Okay.
If that's fine by you. So something that I am very passionate about is tackling period poverty, is creating more efficiencies for menstruators, and ensuring that our menstrual processes are not entirely cumbersome nor hold people back from their opportunities professionally, as well as young people going to school. So this headline, which reads, "This sanitary pad washing kit helps refugees tackle period poverty," is really up my alley. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, there are 82.4 million forcibly displaced people around the world. About 6 million of them live in refugee camps. Women obviously make up half of these populations. Menstruators make up half these populations, yet access to period products in these environments remain a major challenge. Think about it. Resources there are incredibly limited, and menstruation is still continuing. So, at an effort to reduce period poverty amongst these refugees, a product designer student named Chuok Wong has created the Loop Can, which is a concept for a portable kit to clean menstruation pads, reusable pads. So, the kits contain cleaner, 70 grams of baking soda, and that reusable sanitary pad made from bamboo terry fabric. It's a tube, you shake it up. Basically, you can clean your pad with less than a half liter of water, and women living in these refugee camps and menstruators can easily and discreetly wash and dry their sanitary pads.
Which I think that's super important because water is also a scarce resource.
Exactly. How it works is you screw the cap on and users spin the device with their finger, and the spinning motion helps the baking soda and water clean the pad in a more efficient manner, so it doesn't require a lot of water to do so. 30 minutes and the blood dissolves. The pad gets rinsed 3 times, and voila, clean sanitary menstrual pad, which then dries relatively efficiently. It's pretty cool. I think we had talked about menstrual cups and how menstrual cups can reduce the impact. More and more of these reusable tools are critical. One of the biggest challenges I've had with menstrual cups is like being on the go. How do you clean them? I know that there is a designer who has come up with a similar, remote menstrual cup washing device. And I'm really impressed with this. And well done. I think more of these solutions helping people not be held back, or really, in the case of a refugee, just really uncomfortable situations without access to menstrual products.
One thing I think that's interesting, too, is to get away from the idea of disposable products and more towards a reusable. Again, that's coming into more of a circular mentality where you don't use and dispose, but rather you have something which you can keep for years and reuse again and again for each of your cycles.
I am a big reusable menstrual product advocate. I love my menstrual cup. So,
and I think it's interesting because women are becoming more present in the design and engineering side of things. This is a part of our life. It's just not something that a lot of male engineers would ever think about.
Right. Well, and it's one of those things that, so in language inclusivity, oftentimes when talking about period poverty, we strip out gender as far as male and female, or men and women, and just go with menstruators, because it's a physical process. It is not a gendered issue. Menstruation is something that happens to more than 50% of the world, right? And so it's time to stop thinking about it as a women's issue. It's a society issue.
And it's not a problem. It's just part of how our bodies work.
Exactly. Period poverty is a problem. Periods, not a problem.
Not a problem.
Right? Yeah. Menstrual blood, not a problem. Menstrual blood's totally fine. Unclean menstrual pads available to refugees, problem. So
let's solve it.
Anyway, exactly. Let's solve it. Let's solve period poverty and create circularity around menstruation. And then let's sit and watch the stars.
Yeah. So the headline that I chose to talk about addresses something that I find it's something that you don't often think about, but light pollution. And last week, the Perseid meteor shower was happening. And if you were in places like I've been, which is in more urban environments, it's hard to see because there's a lot of light pollution going on and the lights just don't go off. On the other hand, if you're in places like where Amelia is out in Montana, or near I think she was at the Glacier National Park just the other week.
Right. She got her vacation.
She got her little, it's a whole different experience. And I know this from my sailing days. When you are out in a place where there isn't a lot of artificial light, the night sky can be awe-inspiring.
Amazing.
Yeah. And there's been reports where people who live in cities that are not used to seeing the dark night sky, when there's a power outage, they get really concerned because they're seeing things like the Milky Way for the first time. And it's like, wow, there's in the night sky, it's not just blackness. There's so much light out there if you don't have artificial light to block it out. So this headline reads, the U.S. and Canada established the first international transboundary dark sky park. And this is a collaboration between the U.S. and Canada along the northern border of the U.S. And it's the Waterton Glacier International Peace Park, which is a collaboration between the national park established on the border between the U.S. and Canada, the states of Montana and Alberta. So it's just south of Calgary, Alberta, and it's Montana, it's Glacier Park there. So it's become a dark sky park after meeting the qualifications by installing dark sky friendly lighting that reduce light pollution. And that means they've installed LED streetlights, which are pointed down instead of up, and dark sky friendly fixtures and bulbs. And it's just incredible, the spectacular view that you can get from the sky. And so in addition to cleaning up the light pollution so you can experience what it's like to be in that dark sky experience, it's also important for local animals. Then that extra light pollution can confuse natural sleep and wake and migration cycles. So it is definitely a way of promoting conservation.
Yeah. The Perseid meteor shower, so every year that falls right around the time of my husband's birthday. So he likes to claim that, the heavens celebrate his birthday. But I am very fortunate. We live in a darker sky community. And for so many years, I used to have to travel far away from my home. When I lived in central Los Angeles and central California, you just very rarely would see the meteor shower. But this year we actually got to, and it was so magic. And I was lying in bed, and we have skylights that we can see the sky, and which is occasionally on a full moon rather disconcerting because it becomes so bright in our bedroom. But watching the meteor shower was just magic. And I think these dark sky initiatives are, they're really beneficial to animals. They're really beneficial to communities. And there is an anchoring when we look at the stars and sky above to know how very small we are. I think that's part of why you love both the ocean and space, is that reminder we're just teeny tiny itty bitty little dots
Right.
in this greater universe. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And it kind of grounds you by humbling you compared to the greater world and the greater universe.
Exactly. Well, speaking of being humbled in size, there are life-size elephant sculptures inspiring us to live with harmony and nature. An organization called Clean Ocean Sailing, which strives to collect hard-to-reach plastic. There's a nonprofit helping nature reclaim coal mines in the Appalachians. That's pretty exciting. 2 new dinosaur species discovered in China. Dinos are a big thing around here. What about you, Kristy? What else is on the Optimist Daily today?
Well, there's an article about choosing blooms for longer lasting bouquets, which flowers are lasting longer. Climate-friendly cooling units cut the CO2 footprint of HVAC by 75%. That's really interesting. As the world heats, we have to figure out how to, keep our inner environments cool without adding to
adding to
the problem, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's an important thing to look at. How to soothe sunburn with argan oil, and a platform which directs power to critical sites during power outages. That and more on today's Optimist Daily. Go online and check out all the other stories. And that's it for today's Optimist Daily Update. Summers, I think we got to get on to our editorial.
Time for a team meeting with basic internet. Hey, everybody, become an emissary on optimistdaily.com for $5 a month. Support reader-funded independent journalism. Be part of the solution, changing consciousness and addressing our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.